So I'm just getting ready to begin very shortly. I'm going to share a couple of links to this stream, and yeah, so we will be starting briefly and will take us up until 4 p.m. So yeah, I will be with you very shortly, and please feel free to check in wherever you are from. Okay, so there we go. Grab a cup of tea if you if you don't have one, or a glass of water. You don't need anything for today's session other than a comfortable space where you won't be disturbed. And I'm probably going to be seated for the majority of the time, but we'll do some gentle movement. So just being sure to make yourself as comfortable as you possibly can. And if you feel like a more energized movement process, then you're very welcome to stand for that process. So yeah, we'll be getting ready to start just in a few minutes, just giving people a chance to arrive. And yeah, please be to drop a message, a comment with some intentions for the day that you have, just anything that you want to bring into the space. And yeah, nice to see you. Finally managed to get the technology cooperating. It's very, very much Mercury energy today. And yeah, so it's afternoon here where I am in Scotland, but I think quite a lot of you are tuning in EST, so it's morning time where you are. So good morning. It's still my morning too, because it usually takes me a good few hours to actually waken up and connect and land after traveling on the astral plane during dream time. So I'm in the same kind of space, I reckon. So yeah, let me know where you are connecting from, and I can just, I've got one eye on the comments here. So snow is falling. Oh my goodness. We don't have snow here yet, but I'm very much looking forward to when we do have snow. Oh yeah, snow's the best. Yeah, it's very autumnal here. Like all the colours are really oranges and browns, and yeah. Today is going to be incredible. Yes, yes, I love your energy. It is excellent. Yes. So yeah, I actually this morning, just a bit of chat before we get started. I'm like holding on to my cup of tea here, which this morning I said something to my dad when we'd eaten breakfast together, and and he was like, right, okay, I'm going to go out into the garden and start doing this and that. And I was like, right, okay. Right, if I don't sit and just have this cup of tea right now, everything is going to go south from here. So yeah, I kind of realized in that moment like how important it was for me to like have my meditation, which only a few minutes, but just kind of focusing on the tea and um, allowing myself that time and space just to not be focusing on anything else. It was just like the sun was out, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just drink this cup of tea and just chill for a second. And actually, that might be for a lot of people the only few minutes they get, especially if they're in a busy working environment, or if they've got kids, or like the cup of tea or coffee as the start to the day is definitely crucial, I would say. um yeah, so that is my like grounding thing to get me going. And um yeah, tea ceremony I think is a really nice practice and thing to integrate as a meditative reflective process. So yes. Fix the fence, yeah. Exactly. I know. They're so keen, aren't they? Love them. Love dads. They're just like, yes, let's batter into this and get it done. Okay, so 5 past. We'll start in a few moments. But yeah, just to say, um, this is a really relaxed space, so welcome. I'm glad to see you and to hear you. And yeah, we'll be going through some breathing, some gentle movements, some visualizations, connecting with the new moon energy of today, and just going on a little bit of a journey together. So go at your pace within that framework. Move through visualizations or anything related to breath in a way that feels comfortable for you. That's the most important thing. There's no pressure or expectation to move into or transition into anything that doesn't feel right for you. So you connect with your own instincts, and if you've got a lot of energy to shift, or a lot of things going on in your mind, and you just want to kind of disconnect from that and tune in to what we're doing here, this is a safe space for that. So I'm holding you as best I can, and feel free to drop any comments at the end if there are any questions, or if anything has come up from this process that you kind of like a visualization or something like that that you want to explore in more detail. It's really nice to hear different responses to how people engage. So it looks like we've got about 15 or so people online just now, so I think we're probably good to get started. So last cup of tea. Okay, so if it feels comfortable to close your eyes, then please do that in order to bring yourself into a more focused, centered, relaxed space. So I'm just sitting here, neutral position. You might, if you're sitting at a desk or on a chair, maybe make sure that your feet are on the floor, connected to the ground. Try as best you can to have a nice straight back, but comfortable and relaxed, ensuring that the shoulders are dropped And your hands can just be resting by your side, on your lap, on your knees. So first of all, I'm just bringing my attention and focus to the breath, not yet within the body, but just here in front of the heart space, just as a focal point for me to bring awareness to here. So whatever I've been doing before now, any conversations, connections to people, places, things that have been drawing on my energy, I'm trying to gather those threads almost back to this central point here. So you can even add a little movement into that if that helps your visualization process. Kind of, we're gathering in here and we're slowing, we're kind of unhooking, disconnecting from all these multiple devices and channels and things going on, and just bringing some focus here. You might even want to cup your hands and just gently hold that space. We're in the process right now of creating a container for ourselves to work in, and a sacred space. So we're infusing this space with intentions and energy that we want to bring. And this is a really nice practice, especially in light of the new moon. We can inject some vision and quality of what we want to bring to fruition over the next month into this space. So just use this moment for yourself to connect, not focusing too much on physicality or breath or anything, just coming into that space of gathering and stillness and holding space for yourself. And in the process of doing that, there's also this awareness that at this present moment in time, there are other souls and energies that are connecting and tapping into this energetic space, that are also participating, doing the same thing, infusing their unique frequency into the space too. And that is creating a really powerful circle for us to all be working in. We're coming to this from a place of equality, and also being allowed to be seen, heard and felt as we are, without prejudice or hierarchy. So just letting yourself feel the safety of that container, inviting in any of your own spirit guides, helpers, support network. I'm going to be calling into this space the support of ancestors, really feeling them standing behind me, hands on my shoulders, arms outstretched, hugging, holding, lifting up and stabilizing me. The support of the Mother Earth below, providing that grounded, supported, rooted platform for me to be standing tall and erect and able to receive that green earth energy of nourishment and new life and growth coming up, and also with the ability to support these arms that I'm going to outstretch to allow me to drink in that spiritual mana and life force that's streaming in through the crown as well. Bringing in 5 elements, which we're going to be working with later on, just asking that those energies are really infused in the space, that we can experience them all, feel, move through them. allow them to inspire and inform us so that we can be more resilient and flexible. And the 4 directions so that we can have a 360 view of what's going on and where we are, so that we have a strong compass that can navigate these different realms and spaces. And also connecting to just the energy of this space, the land, where I'm currently rooted into, that supports me. So do the same for yourself wherever you are in the world. Choosing perhaps a favourite place that you have in your mind, under a tree, in your garden, beside flowing water. Bring an element of a sacred space that you visit in the physical realm into your imagination and awareness, so that you can really feel supported and grounded throughout this process. And any elementals and spirits from that place will also be invited and welcomed in. I'm calling on some angelic support as well, really to bubble up this container, knowing that whatever comes through for each individual is with intention for that to be in their highest good, and also that this grounded space that we're operating from ensures that each person can really trust their instinct and their own framework of understanding to know that any information that comes through is of love and it's of light. Even challenging emotions or things that our attention is brought to, it's brought to us with illumination and the power of the new moon to see with clarity and focus, and to gain perspective on where we need to make shifts and changes within ourselves to progress forward in a direction that we wish to go in. So just that affirmation again of safety, giving yourself a chance to de-armor and just come in. So I'm transitioning from that space now into some gentle movements. So progress with these in a way that feels comfortable to you, and don't do anything that is causing too much exertion or pain. If you've got any underlying health issues or injuries, just please be mindful of that, and slow the better. So let's just begin with the head and the neck. I'm rotating side to side here. I feel quite stiff because I've been doing a lot of computering and lifting and work outside, so I know that I need to be really careful with this area to open and elongate, being sure to keep your mouth slightly open so that you're not creating extra tension around the jaw. If you want to go into this a little deeper, by all means do that and extend that stretch, but I would encourage you to do that at a much slower pace so that you actually have time to adjust, and so that you can check in with your body and actually ask it, do you feel comfortable moving into this stretch, before we overexert and potentially push ourselves and find that we get stuck, or that actually there's an emotional knot there and that we're not quite ready to move there. So just coming back to center, and the center point is going to be where we return to as a focus and to gather in that energy each time. So we can now begin to move this awareness of the breath inside the body. So out of that container and space into the internal container and space, just letting it sit there in the heart for a second. And on your next in-breath, gathering that breath and focusing it down on the out-breath into the diaphragm. So we're looking at the lower dantian, which is just below the belly button. So you can measure between your thumb and your middle finger, and that space there is also around the solar plexus. So that is where I would like you to bring your focus and attention to after each sequence of movement or each stage as we progress through. And if it feels comfortable to bring your hands to the stomach there to help you focus, you can just do that, and allowing yourself to breathe in gently through the nose and out through the mouth. And we're storing that energy through each transition. So we've stretched this way. Let's go for a full rotation. Do 3 or 4 on each side. Again, just nice and slow. Keep the shoulders dropped. And the other side. Almost like imagine that you're drawing or painting with your nose, so that your movement is really controlled but also flexible as well. The weight of the head is so heavy, and we spend so much time during our day that this area gets really tense and tight. So again, just focus back to plexus, diaphragm, dantian, or if you want to take it further down, if it helps you to pull that energy and root it down, you can visualize the sacral, the groin, the womb space, whatever works for you, and whichever area you feel needs the most nourishment and expansion and storage of energy right now. We're coming here, at least in the northern hemisphere, into autumn winter shift, so there's a lot of damp, and giving some heat and attention to this area is definitely a good thing. And remembering just to release on the out breath through your mouth every now and again, really to clear any excess energy out of your system. Let's move on to the shoulders now. So I'm just rotating the shoulders full circle and moving backwards slowly. I can feel that I've got a lot of tension here. If you are doing a lot of computer work, then this is definitely an area to watch. So just moving the other way. If you want to energize this a little bit more, if you're feeling that you need a good morning stretch and you're not very limber, you can stand and do this, just ensuring that your feet are hip width apart and you're nice and neutral. Coming back to center. Just with every release of tension and energy, we're actually allowing our internal space to expand and to grow and to have more breathing room. So that's why we're coming back each time, just to focus in here. It's a way of ensuring that there's not any energy leaks and that we're holding on to the good stuff and letting go of any of the extraneous, unhelpful tension. So let's open up that stretch a little deeper now. The hands can just be nice and floppy, really just guiding. You can have them as low as above the pectoral muscles, or you can have them up as far as the collarbone, depending on how deep you want the stretch to go. Remembering to breathe as well through this process so that you can release that energy. Moving the other way. And coming back to that space, just holding for a moment. It's also that focus of moving between intention and more active mental and physical energy, and developing, stretching that muscle of moving between the two states in a fluid and easy manner. So I'm going to stand now because I'm going to just go for a deeper stretch with the arm and rotating. So I'm standing hip width apart here, and I'm going to go for a full stretch. So you can alternate arms. Let's go for around 4 each side. Allow there to be a little bit of a twist as well, so that you can follow through with that movement, so that your hips are not totally locked and that you can really open up your lats and your intercostal muscles. And then you can move forward and do the same. This is really great opening and stretching, and I tend to extend this practice and do maybe 6 rotations of each as part of my warm-up for doing Tai Chi. And just give your shoulders a little bit of a shake. And I'm not going to do too much on the lower half of the body today, but we do want to kind of balance it out just to ensure that we are allowing some circulation down there as well. So let's just, if you are standing and you feel called to stand, we can do some calf raises, just holding it for a few seconds and then down. Breathing in as you do that and releasing, just getting some blood flow going here. So if you're seated and you feel more comfortable, you're still waking up, you can just do some really gentle stretching on the bed with your feet, hands, get the hamstrings kind of talking to you. Whatever feels good to you. You know your own body, physical limits, how much exercise you've been doing, whether you've got any muscular tension there. And I'm just giving a bit of a shake off, rubbing the hands together, creating some heat and friction. And I'm just going to take them over the palms over my face, kind of activating circulation here, being sure to go around the eyes, pinching the ears, moving down the back of the neck, front of the neck. Just giving yourself a good rub down as if you're in the shower. And continue this all over the body. Being sure to get under the lymph. Just light tapping. And we can come round to the back, gently around the kidneys. Be careful, not too hard here. All the way down. So you can still do this if you're seated in a kind of more relaxed, less intense way. But it feels good. It feels nice to do it. It's like you're giving some contact to your body and saying hello and allowing it to waken up. So I'm just tapping here, especially around the back of the knees and the inside of the leg. And this is a great thing to do in conjunction with like Qigong, any other movement practices. And then we're just wiping away any excess energy buildup. And you can shake away with the hands. So I'm going to come back into a seated position. And just nice and neutral. Feel free to take a drink if you need one. So I'm just going to check in quick, make sure everyone is doing okay. Cool. So yeah, we can extend that practice to as much as you like, as much time as you have. When I'm doing Tai Chi, for example, I'll spend a lot longer working through each of those sequences, and I'll include neck rotations back and forward. I've also started to integrate fascia release, which is a really good thing to do before even any of these more physical movements. So we can do kind of holding positions like this, for example, and the fascia release stuff is very, very slow. 30 seconds minimum of holding position to allow the fascia to gently unwind. So there's definitely lots of good material on that out there. I can drop links to a specific book that I've been making reference to that a friend of mine has recently published. Actually, you can see maybe in the background. Wait, how do I do this? Yes, over there. I can't get it right. Yeah, it's called The Art of Unwinding, and there's lots of really nice, slow, gentle exercises there, which can be really, really powerful as an addition to some breath work or some meditation as well. Just getting your body primed and as open and relaxed as possible to be able to connect, tune in and receive that energetic information, regardless of how you pull that information in, whether it's through a knowing, a feeling, sense, an understanding. Yeah, so let's bring in some of this new moon energy, new moon in Libra, balance, alignment, congruence, just being still in your own space, now that we're a bit more warmed up, we can just allow ourselves to bathe in this new moon energy. The beauty of having that reference point of a celestial body to connect with is that we can really visualize that in many, many ways. How receptive are we to connect with that information and tune into the ripple effect of the frequency that is emitted, that permeates the space that we inhabit, that influences and rules many of our emotional and physical functions by cause and effect. And how can we be more open and receptive to work in collaboration with that energy? Because it's not only very benevolent, it's inherently loving, caring, compassionate. And the only times where there has been any fear or anxiety attached to connecting with realms or spaces or energy centers away from the physical self are usually when there's a block there for me, or there's too much going on, too much in the mental space, triggering things like anxiety, stress, tension, or when I'm so open that that energy flows through, and that the sensation of that can be maybe overwhelming or empowering, and sometimes that can bring with it a whole host of self-doubt and criticism about what do I do with this energy, what do I do with this information, with this creativity, with this life force. Once we start to connect and tap in with that, there can be sometimes a little bit of stage fright, like what do I do with this and who is it for? Because once we're open to that, we feel compelled to share that energy with others and explain the ways in which it can help and benefit us. But yes, loving but fierce. So the energy of the moon can be compassionate and loving, but it's also fierce and it's also wild. And that element is definitely worth mentioning, because no matter what transition or cycle we are in over the course of the month, there are transitions and phases and shifts in the overall energy of the space, and we are journeying within that space and spiking up and down. And the moments where we find congruence are when we are really feeling in that flow state and in that space of abundance. So the new moon is really a great time for that open plane and space of possibility. And if working with the lunar cycles is still a relatively new thing, I think the full moon is usually a a space for meditation that draws in most people initially because it's very expansive. It's quite an obvious heightened energy, but then the new moon offers that kind of contrast. But you can start your practice of working with the new moon energy prior to that, in the days running up to that, in the dark moon. And that is also an incredibly potent time for clearing out, for getting really deep into the seeds of intention that you want to plant, and an opportunity for you to meet your shadow and to work with deeper levels of healing of parts of yourself that are maybe not always seen, not always clear or obvious to others or even yourself. But it's a very rich, fecund time to connect with the psyche. So how can we tap into this new moon energy today? Let's use breath as our guiding principle here. So assuming that this energy is permeating in all directions, we can draw in our breath as if we are drinking in from a sea or a web. So let's breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth in a really gentle, relaxed way. Find your own pace that works for you. There's no pressure, there's no demands on you. You are connecting with yourself, and that is a process of training. We don't need to be fighting or exerting ourselves. We're just allowing, opening, expanding. Try and explore the range and the depth of your breath in this space. Just each time inviting a more expansive breath, really going into the breath. And releasing. Being sure to allow yourself to actually let that release happen as well. If we're gathering in and drawing in energy from this field around us and allowing that to open and extend and expand to places that it has not reached before in our energy body and in our physical body, then we can assume that this new energy is like a cleansing breath. Perhaps you want to visualize it with water, with the element of water. And that as we release, there's a cleansing, cleaning process ongoing. So connect with that for a moment, with that water element or a tidal flow. An in-breath and out-breath. You might even want to play with some sounds around that theme of the in, the rushing of waves, pushing the breath out gently, and crashing of waves. So feel into that as you need to. Don't push yourself, just flow with it. Take some time, get to know what this feeling is of this new moon. What is it for you? What is the balance that needs to come into your space right now in order to take you to the next stage of your journey? As you breathe in, what do I want to invite into my space? Breathing out, what do I want to release? What's holding me back? What is no longer serving me? But coming back again to that in-breath with certainty and with an ability to connect to that new energy of horizons expanding and unfolding. So not holding on to the things that we want to let go of, letting them go with grace, thanking them even as they leave, thanking them for the purpose that they've served. Maybe it's a trauma or something that you feel ready to shift past. Acknowledge it, thank it for being there, for the lessons that it's given you, just as a way of untying and untethering that cord, releasing it gently, and coming back again into that space of newness, renewal, growth. So we'll touch on the other elements just in a moment. What I would like to do is just another movement based practice, just whilst we are really drawing in the moon into this space, allowing it to permeate. We're going to move through a couple of transitions with the hands, and just as a guide, a physical guide for us to expand and grow into spaces beyond our physical body. So we want to feel this cleansing, clearing newness on many dimensions. So I'm thinking of this as dimensions of wellness. We want to feel physically supported and nourished, but beyond that, we also want to feel those effects extend beyond the physical form too, so that we can move in a way that feels that there are no limitations. So if it's comfortable to you to bring your palms forward and press your fingers together, just connecting like this. You can bring the hands here. My thumbs are just gently pointing into the center of my chest and the heart space. So again, it's this movement of gathering energy in. And I'm going to expand and separate the hands. And I'm just giving myself a silent affirmation here about expanding my conscious awareness and whatever else to my physical body. So for me right now, I'm expanding my conscious awareness and healing to my physical body. So I'm holding the hands to represent this space and what it feels like, and I'm just sitting with this for a moment, and it feels so nice. Just giving yourself a little bit of love here. You should get a sense of fullness, or when it's time and when you're ready to move into the next sequence of movements, okay? So don't push it. Move when you're ready, and you can come back to this later on and do it in your own time if that's helpful. So now I'm expanding that same intention to my energy body. Just remember to breathe gently throughout this process. We've already done some stretching and opening of the neck and the shoulders, so this shouldn't feel too uncomfortable. We are expanding and stretching, but just also be mindful, trying to keep a nice and neutral posture as well. And again, just when you're ready, moving on to the next. Moving to the Earth's body. Expanding that conscious awareness and your unique intention or feeling that you really want to embody to the Earth's body. Just registering the transition between these different dimensions and spaces, and the dialogue that your body is in terms of your sensation and ability to actually tap into these spaces with your mind, with your energy, with your intention. Expanding to the Earth's energy body. It should feel much more expansive than your energy body. So we've gone up a scale here. It's really opening, allowing, reminding yourself that we're working with the advantage of heightened sensitivity with the new moon, allowing us to feel into and see with our mind's eye these realms in a much clearer light. Moving to cosmos solar system. It's very possible that you might be feeling a little bit of tingling as the blood flow goes down from your arms, so that's quite normal. Obviously, working at your own pace and with your own strength and flexibility is important here. But as you do this, if you choose to practice with it, you will find that you get stronger and you can hold these postures for longer. Taking your intention and awareness to the interconnected cosmos. To the outer connected cosmos. To the super connected cosmos. And lastly, stretching all the way up, my hands are joined together, to the infinite connected cosmos and beyond. Whatever words make sense to you, but to the far reaches of what we know and understand, and beyond that, sending your attention and your awareness to expand into that space. And very, very slowly bringing your arms back down to your sides, and you can use a mudra if you like, or just thumb to forefinger. A couple of breaths will just allow your circulatory system to calm down a little bit. It's quite a lot of blood flow from the arms, but it feels good. And from this space you can really sit and connect with more clarity and focus, and from here might be a really nice dream space to go into, to journal, or to set some intentions. So we've got about 5 minutes left. So I just want to use this time. I mentioned about the 5 elements and the 4 directions. So let's close this off by infusing them into the space, inviting them in, and hopefully that will imbue the rest of your day with an awareness of those different states and transitions, so that you can allow creativity to be informed from a much more holistic perspective of taking in a broader range of possibilities, being able to recognize more subtleties and changes in energy through working with the 5 elements and the 4 directions. So this is a nice space to be in here. Visualizing the north, calling in clarity, focus, alignment with highest truth, setting the compass to true north. What it means to you, just allow that to permeate for a second. What is your true direction? moving to the east, letting water be a part of that visualization too. Renewal and green energy. Horizons. What does the east mean for you? Call on it and draw it in. Moving to the south, associated with fire and heat. Perhaps the alchemy of flames is something that can be useful to you at this time. So calling in that wisdom and that knowledge and that power to help you make decisions throughout your day. Peering into what that means for you, the south. West, communication, messages and information coming on the wind. How can the West support you? What does it mean to you? If any particular direction is calling out to you at the moment, then you might feel called to do a little bit of reading or research later on. Different directions for different purposes. Setting up grids or altars to correspond to one direction more dominantly than the other can be useful. And even turning your body to face the different directions as well and acknowledging those. So there's lots of helpful information. But this is just a taste of beginning that dialogue of speaking to the directions, asking for them to play a part in your day. And then from this central point that we're in, acknowledging the earth, the realm below us, Gaia, the lower realm where we can journey within and to pull information back to the middle realm where we reside, and then up to the sky, to the heavens. Just looking up with our mind's eye and feeling into what that means for us. Confirmation and asking to be supported in all directions throughout all space and all time as we move through our day. And just to close with the 5 elements, drawing in the flexibility, the growth, the change, the shift, the nourishment that comes with wood. May we be flexible to be able to bend and not break when storms come our way. May we draw on the strength, suppleness of metal, using this element to help us release extraneous emotional baggage, anything weighing us down, too much mental clutter or energy. May we draw on fire and its power to transform, to give life to, and also to destroy and burn away things from our path that are not serving us, and to offer us heat and nourishment. Earth, may we be able to tap into its wisdom, its support, its structure, its logic, its organic intelligence of ecosystems and equilibrium. May we find that balance within ourselves and in our choices. And water, may we find the soothing, cleansing, clearing, diluting properties and the power to move things that are blocking our path. So these 5 elements, may we know them, may we see them, may we feel them, may we hear them, may we understand them, may we utilize them to help us navigate this path forward into the month ahead. So just bringing hands together, palms together, and pressing them, a little bit of pressure, breathing out, and we can just close this affirming, my energy is my own. So we can move out of this space in the knowledge that we are centered, we're grounded, we're connected, and our energy is intact. So you might want to just bring your hands together, rub them again, and give yourself a little shake up and come back into the room that you're in. And I've gone a little bit over time there, sorry for anyone who's on a schedule. So yeah, if you connected just now, then thanks for joining. I'm glad some folk are saying they feel relaxed and nice. I'm glad to hear it. And yeah, so I will drop some links into I'll drop some links into the video chat is probably the easiest way. But if you are not connected already, then if you've come here through the Paradigm Shift community, then I'm sure you'll have seen some links there, but you can find me, True Voice Creations. You'll be able to find that across multiple platforms. If you use Instagram and you want to connect on there, you'll be able to find me under Truth Seeker Sounds. But I'll drop some links into the chat just now. And yeah, feel free to get in touch, and if there's any questions that you have about any of the things that we went through today, any of the techniques, like where they originate from, I've kind of drawn together lots of different things from different places. So yeah, don't hesitate to ask. And also what was I going to say? I can't type and talk at the same time. Yeah, check out my website. I'm going to be updating a meditation library on there soon. So yeah. All right, I'm going to drop these links right now, and I'm just leaving this broadcast going for a second, in case anyone has any questions. I'm glad you found it peaceful. Yeah, rookie mistake here. I should have done this before. Never mind. Right, okay. I've made a total mess of those links there, but they are there. I'll post them again on the video description, and you can check them out if you feel called to. So yeah, I'm gonna check out now, and I hope you have a really nice rest of your day wherever you are. And yeah, blessed be. Keep drinking the tea, and may your month ahead be filled with clarity.